Hey guys, Meteorologist Chris Tomer here with this afternoon mountain weather update. All right, I want to go to radar first. Here's our storm system. You can actually see it rotating around the area of low pressure. Snowing in the Wasatch, snowing in the Tetons, Idaho, snowing across western Colorado. So what's going to happen is it will continue to snow tonight to tomorrow morning. For example, in the Wasatch, still have another 3 to 6 inches of snow yet to go. So tomorrow will be a powder day. The whole storm, though, is going to pivot down through Colorado and then exit through southern Colorado and northern New Mexico, late 4-1 into 4-2. Let me take you into Colorado. And this is what I was talking about this morning, that the bulk of the snow accumulation with this would be across the western slope, and that's where you see most of the snow falling right now. And that's going to be the case with this storm system. Okay, so here's what I'm seeing this afternoon. So beyond this storm, we're going to have to look to Canada. That's going to send our next 1 to 2 storm systems south into the lower 48. That's going to happen 4-3 through probably 4-9. You can see the timing in the Wasatch, Tetons, Colorado, Sierra, and the Northeast. So here's how you read this. I'm forecasting in the Wasatch moderate snow accumulation now through tomorrow morning. Then a break, a dry break, and then moderate to heavy snow accumulation 4-5 and 4-6. Things still look heavy in the Northeast, potentially 2 feet of accumulation. So we'll look at all that in this forecast update. I want to go over to water vapor satellite imagery here. Just mark the key features. So on this, your moisture aloft is in your whites and your blues. So there's our area of low pressure. It'll roll towards the four corners and then eventually exit out by late 4-1 and 4-2. Then we have to look to the northern branch. There's a low there. There's a low there. Both of these riding that northern jet up and through Alaska and Canada, and then we'll eventually dive south next week. Part of that first week of April pattern. All of it just riding the jet. You can see the dip right here by close of business today. That's our storm system, our storm number 1. And then that moves through the four corners tomorrow and then away by 4-2. Here comes the northern branch buckling with the next storm. Dive south, 4-4, 4-5, 4-6. And then there's a second storm. You can see it right on the back side. And now that's 4-8, 4-9. And it goes even further south, way to the south. That one will be more interesting. Doesn't seem like it has as much moisture, and it's really far to the south, but that's 4-9. Let me just show you what the precip looks like. So here's the forecast radar. 5:30 today, snow over western slope of Colorado, snow in Wyoming, Utah. Watch what happens. Kind of breaks up tomorrow morning, and then the last pieces of this, snow across Colorado, maybe a little bit of rain across Denver and the Front Range into tomorrow morning, even tomorrow afternoon. And some snow for northern New Mexico, and then the whole thing's gone. And then we have to look to the north, and here comes our Canadian connection. Storm dives to the south, starts to move out of California, generates snow in the Wasatch, Tetons, and in Colorado, Idaho, and Montana, Banff, interior BC, and then that moves away, and then there's the second storm. You can't really see it. It's diving so far to the south, but you can see the precip starting to move into Colorado, New Mexico. That's all return moisture from that final storm system that is so far to the south, it's pulling in moisture out of the south. So pretty interesting. Okay, let's look at the latest totals I've got. My forecast grand totals by late 4-9, 1 to 2 feet in the Wasatch, 1 to 2 feet for the Tetons, and probably 6 to 14. Those numbers have held. 6 to 14 in Colorado, maybe a little bit more in southern Colorado, but most of that is across the western slope. Northern New Mexico, the numbers have crept up just a little, 8 to maybe 14. And anywhere in purple's over a foot. That's a lot of Idaho. That's parts of northwest Montana. Numbers still look good in Fernie, Sunshine. Kicking Horse has gone up a little bit. Let me break it down by time period here. So the rest of today through tomorrow, again, another 3 to 6 in the Wasatch and basically the Tetons. Another 2 to 6 in Colorado and quite a bit in northern New Mexico. Okay, let's go to the next time period. This is our transition, 4-2 through 4-4. The front's starting to drop to the south and anywhere from 1 to 6 inches of accumulation. Final time frame's bigger with the storm really reaching a little bit more maturity here and spinning through the inner mountain west. That's where we pick up a foot in the Tetons and 10 to 20 in the Wasatch and another 4 to 10 in Colorado. And that's where we start to see some of those bigger numbers up through Idaho, northwest Montana, interior BC, and Sunshine. Okay, let's go to the Northeast. So the numbers again still look big, 4-3, 4 into early 5. Looking at potentially a couple of feet of accumulation through parts of New York State, Hunter Mountain, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine. The big winner, of course, Mount Washington out of all these places. But this is still a major storm system. If the track holds, then the numbers hold. And so we still have a couple of days to watch this thing. But It's still looking big in this update. All right, guys, we're going to end on the grand total map for this afternoon. Again, grand totals by late 4-9 are still pretty impressive. We still have a foot or two to go in a number of areas, so we'll keep an eye on all that, but things still look good. Hope everybody had a great Easter today. I really appreciate you tuning in here, and take care.